The metaverse is coming, Facebook is investing $10 billion into it this year, and you might never have to leave your couch again. So let's talk about it. I think we can all collectively agree that Facebook's had a really bad month. A whistleblower revealed what we all basically already assumed, which is Facebook is bad for your mental health and that they care more about making money than taking the moral high ground. But if that wasn't enough, their servers also crashed for 6 hours, which cost them $6 billion and ultimately revealed our scary dependence on social media. But let's be honest, Facebook's had a rough decade.
Facebook now under fire.
The social media giant already under fire for not protecting users' private information.
Tonight, it's facing criticism and concerns about privacy and security at a whole new level.
It's been scandal after scandal that ends in apologies and promises to do better.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a mistake, and I'm sorry. We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
So this was a major breach of trust, and I'm really sorry.
With the occasional comedic testimony from Zuckerberg, who answers softball questions about the internet before going home and smoking brisket in his backyard.
Smoking these meats here.
All of this makes Facebook's quest to dominate the metaverse kind of terrifying, but we'll talk about that in a second. You see, while the most popular leaked documents that were picked up by the media revolved around Facebook's toll on mental health, there were others that revealed a much larger problem lurking beneath the surface that might just determine their future, which is that teens don't like them. In fact, they spent 16% less time on Facebook this year than they did last year. Less of them are signing up in general, and users across every age range are posting less on average. But the most interesting thing is they have no idea why it's happening. I would guess it might have something to do with people's general realization of Facebook's power to manipulate and influence people that was brought to the surface by huge documentaries like The Social Dilemma. But regardless, it sparked privacy changes by Apple that now forces users to agree to let apps like Facebook collect their data. All of this left Facebook feeling a bit threatened and questioning their golden goose, ad revenue. By collecting every bit of information they possibly could about you, they've been able to essentially print money for the last decade. It's honestly been insane to watch. No matter how many scandals they find themselves in or how deep the trouble, their revenue's done nothing but go up. But it's clear that people are becoming less receptive to the current landscape of social media and the business model of big data, so Zuckerberg's answer, the metaverse. But what is the metaverse? Well, to put it simply, it's a virtual world. Theoretically, you'd be able to go to work, attend meetings, visit an NFT gallery with friends, watch an esports game from the sidelines, and then top it off by going to a concert, all without leaving your couch. Surgeons will be able to perform surgeries on patients that are thousands of miles away, artists can host meetups and sell NFT merch for digital avatars, and millions of other possibilities. The actual word was coined by Neil Stephenson in a book called Snow Crash that was published all the way back in 1992. The premise was the government printed too much money due to a loss of tax revenue because of people's shift to cryptocurrency. That spurred hyperinflation, which crashed the value of the dollar along with the power of the government, which then fell into the hands of billionaires and corporations who created a virtual world that you can access through wearing goggles. I can't imagine how much crazier that sounded in 1982 than it did today, but apparently Stevenson was onto something. Facebook in particular has been investing into VR since 2014 when they bought Oculus for $2 billion, who supplies the VR headsets that are needed to access something like the metaverse. Since then, they've set up an entire division called Facebook Reality Labs, whose entire goal is to dominate the metaverse. And just to put into perspective how much they believe in this, over 10,000 people, which is nearly a fifth of Facebook's employees, are now working on this. And to go even further, they also announced they're hiring 10,000 people over the next 5 years to also help build the metaverse. Their bet is that the metaverse will take over the internet as we know it, and since they already own 30% of the market share for VR headsets needed to access the metaverse, the next step is to build the software that people use on the headsets, which will give them an enormous amount of control if it pans out like Zuckerberg thinks. And that's why they'll continue shuffling tens of billions of dollars from their seemingly invincible ad platform to try to get ahead of the curve of the next internet. But in classic Facebook fashion, they're already taking advantage of that control. When they bought Oculus, users were guaranteed that you would never have to have a Facebook account to use the headset, and they would never be served ads in VR. But guess what? In August of 2020, they announced that you're going to have a Facebook account to use Oculus, and in June of 2021, they announced that they're going to start testing targeted advertisements within apps on Oculus. For the time being, they've claimed that the ads that are served in Oculus are based off users' Facebook profiles and not based off any data gathered by using the headset, but we'll check back on that in a couple years. So it seems like Facebook's response to their ad platform being threatened is to take the users off their 2D Facebook app, put them into the metaverse, incorporate that same ad platform into the metaverse, and then continue making money. In my opinion, it doesn't sound like the best way to go about it, but who am I to say? Either way, Facebook isn't the only company in pursuit of the metaverse. Microsoft, Epic Games, and Roblox are a few others. Which sounds far-fetched until you realize that over half of the kids in the United States are playing on Roblox and Fortnite, where they go on, attend concerts, virtual meetups, use digital currency, and also buy digital goods. There was even a Supreme purse sold in Roblox for $4,115, even though the actual physical purse only cost $3,400. So at this point, it really just seems like a matter of adoption, from looking at a 2D screen to putting on a headset, which then immerses yourself into these environments, which eventually will likely become indistinguishable from the physical world. As for Facebook, Zuckerberg says they plan to soon be known as a metaverse company and not a social media. So let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts about the metaverse? Are you excited, scared? Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.